You've been in that moment before, the kind where something shifts, and you feel it in your body before your mind can catch up. You're talking, maybe even laughing, and suddenly the air feels heavier. You pause and wonder if you're imagining it. Most men miss this entirely, and end up talking their way right out of the moment. As a woman, I've been on the other side of that shift more times than I can count, watching men either freeze or overcorrect. And the truth is, sexual interest doesn't announce itself loudly. It shows up in small permissions. If you've ever asked yourself, was that sexual, or am I reading too much into it, this will change how you see those moments forever. First, she stops protecting her body from being interpreted. You're standing close, maybe at a bar, maybe in a friend's kitchen, and you notice something subtle. Her posture changes. She's no longer crossing her arms or angling her body away. Instead, she stands open. Not in a performative way, just unguarded. You catch yourself thinking, nothing changed, but everything changed. Most men assume sexual interest looks like exaggerated flirting. It doesn't. From a woman's perspective, this moment is about safety. When she wants you sexually, she stops managing how her body might be read. She's no longer trying to avoid interpretation, she's allowing it. Here's what to do. Don't rush to touch, don't comment on her body. Just hold your position calmly. Let your shoulders relax, let your gaze soften. If you stay grounded instead of pouncing, the tension deepens. If you rush, the door quietly closes. And once you notice this shift, you'll start seeing how often it happens right before everything changes. Second, she tests whether you'll feel the moment without needing to explain it. This usually shows up in a pause. You're mid-conversation, maybe walking back to your car or standing near a door, and she stops talking first. The silence stretches just a second longer than normal. You feel the urge to fill it. You think, say something, anything. But here's what's really happening. She's testing whether you can sit with sexual tension without needing to label it. From my side, this is one of the clearest internal switches. I already know I'm attracted. What I'm watching is whether you're comfortable with desire existing, without being named. Most men rush to neutralize the tension. They crack a joke, shift the topic, say something safe, and the moment collapses. The man who handles this well does something simple. He doesn't rush. He lets the silence breathe. He might soften his voice and say something understated like, "Yeah, I felt that too." Notice the difference. You're not escalating, you're acknowledging. If you stay calm, the tension becomes mutual instead of awkward. If you panic, she assumes you're not ready for what comes next. Third, she lets her voice drop when there's no reason to. Pay attention to how she speaks, not just what she says. You're sitting across from her, maybe on a couch or at a small table, and her voice shifts. It gets slower, quieter, lower. There's no external reason for it. The room didn't change. The music didn't drop. She did. When a woman wants you sexually, her body often moves into a more intimate rhythm before her words do. You'll notice fewer filler phrases, less nervous laughter, more deliberate pacing. You might think, why does this suddenly feel so close? Most men misread this and respond by getting louder or faster. That's a mistake. Match her pace instead. Lower your voice slightly. Slow your replies. Let your words land. This isn't about dominance, it's about attunement. If you meet her where she is, the interaction starts to feel insulated from the rest of the world. If you ignore it, she'll eventually raise the energy again to protect herself. Fourth, she adjusts her position in ways that change what you can see. You're talking, and she shifts, not necessarily closer, but angled. Her leg turns, her shoulder opens. Suddenly, you have a clearer view of her neck, her collarbone, her thigh. This isn't accidental. Most men think sexual interest means moving toward them. Often, it's about removing barriers instead. Don't stare. Don't comment. Just notice, and stay present. If you respond with calm attention instead of hunger, she feels safe enough to continue, and that's when the moment deepens. Fifth, she watches your mouth instead of your eyes. You're mid-sentence, and you catch it. Her eyes drop briefly to your lips. Not once, but more than once. You might wonder if you imagined it. You didn't. This is one of the most physical indicators of attraction. From my side, it's instinctive. It happens before I consciously decide anything. Your move here is restraint. Finish your sentence slowly. Don't rush forward. Let her notice that you noticed. This connects to everything we've talked about, how silence and pacing communicate more than words ever could. Sixth, she brings up physical sensations that aren't necessary. You're having a normal conversation, and suddenly she says something like, "It's warm in here," or, "This seat is surprisingly comfortable," or, "My shoulders feel tense today." On the surface, it doesn't advance the conversation. Most men treat these as throwaway comments. They aren't. From a woman's perspective, mentioning bodily sensation is a subtle way of shifting the interaction into the physical, without crossing a line. She's inviting you to recognize her as a body, not just a voice. What do? Respond simply, but directly. "Yeah, I noticed, it does feel warmer." Or, "I can see that." You're not fixing, you're recognizing. If you jump into solutions, you miss the point. If you ignore it, she pulls back. This is a soft doorway into physical awareness, and how you respond tells her whether you're tuned in. Seventh, she pauses after you speak, like she's waiting for something more. You finish a sentence, and instead of replying, she just waits. Her head tilts slightly, her eyes stay on you. It's not confusion, it's expectation. Most men rush to fill that space. Don't. Let the pause exist. This ties back to those earlier moments of silence. If you stay grounded here, the interaction tips into something unmistakably charged. If you rush, she assumes you can't handle the weight of being wanted. Eighth, she breaks the conversation frame and creates a private one. You're in a public setting, friends around, noise, movement, and suddenly she says something that pulls you out of it. "Come here. Wait. Listen." The world narrows. This isn't about logistics, it's about isolation. When a woman wants you sexually, she often creates a bubble first. She wants to feel what it's like to have you fully inside her attention before anything physical happens. Your response matters. Turn toward her completely. Lower your voice. Don't glance around. If you stay half available, the bubble pops. If you commit, the energy intensifies. Ninth, she lets sexual tension build instead of releasing it with humor. Humor is a release valve. When things get charged, many women will joke to diffuse it, unless they don't want to. You'll feel the difference. A comment lands with weight, and she doesn't laugh it off. She holds eye contact. Internally, she's asking, "Can you stay here with me?" Most men sabotage this by joking it away themselves. They get nervous. They downplay. Instead, stay sincere. Let the moment be a little serious. You might say something simple like, "Yeah, that landed." You're not confessing, you're acknowledging. If you mishandle this, the interaction resets to friendly. If you stay present, the tension becomes mutual and unmistakable. 10th, she mentions being alone, casually, but intentionally. She might say, "I'm heading home after this," or, "I've got the place to myself tonight." It sounds informational, but it isn't. From my side, mentioning solitude is a way of placing context on the table without pressure. I'm not inviting, I'm signaling availability and watching how you respond. Most men either ignore it or jump too far ahead. Both miss the mark. Your move is simple acknowledgement without assumption. "That sounds nice." Quiet nights can be good. You're showing awareness without entitlement. If you escalate verbally here, you break the trust. If you ignore it, she assumes you didn't catch it. 11th, she tests how you handle being wanted without needing reassurance. There's a moment where she does something unmistakably inviting, stands closer, holds your gaze, lets her knee brush yours, and then she waits. She doesn't ask if it's okay. She doesn't explain. She watches you. You'll feel your mind reach for certainty. Does she really mean this? From her side, this is about confidence without pressure. Desire doesn't want to babysit your uncertainty. Most men either over-verify or pull back. Both signal insecurity. What works is grounded presence. Stay relaxed. Breathe. You don't need to say anything yet. If you don't scramble for reassurance, she feels free to want you openly, and that changes everything. 12th, she slows her movements when things could speed up. You're walking together, reaching for coats, standing up, and she slows down. Not dramatically, just enough. This isn't hesitation, it's savoring. Sexual interest often shows up as deceleration, not urgency. Most men rush to make something happen. Don't. Let the moment stretch. When you move slower with her, you show you're not anxious to escape the tension. And that calm is deeply attractive. 13th, she gives you access to her personal space without saying a word. She doesn't say, "Come closer." She just stops protecting the space between you. Bags move. Arms relax. The distance disappears. Most men either invade or retreat. The right move is simple: occupy the space naturally. Don't announce it. Don't freeze. If you're comfortable where she's already allowed you, she reads that as confidence. 14th, she makes herself available without making a request. She lingers. She doesn't check her phone. She doesn't rush the goodbye. Time opens up. This isn't politeness, it's interest. Your role is to notice and respond intentionally. If you treat it as disposable time, the moment loses meaning. If you treat it as chosen time, it deepens. 15th, she creates a moment that only works if you act. You're standing by her door or paused beside your car. The moment feels suspended. Nothing is happening, and that's the point. From her side, this is where clarity forms. She's created a situation that can't resolve itself, and she's watching to see if you step forward. Most men wait for verbal permission. That kills the energy. This doesn't mean rushing, it means reading the stillness. A small step closer, a quieter voice, a held gaze. If you move with calm intention, the moment moves forward. If you don't, it dissolves. 16th, she acknowledges desire without naming it. She might say something like, "This feels different," or, "I probably shouldn't say this." Her words circle the truth without landing on it. This is vulnerability, with an escape hatch. She's offering honesty without forcing an outcome. Most men either demand clarity or pretend not to hear it. Both feel unsafe. Meet her at the same level. "Yeah, I feel it too." You're not defining, you're confirming. If you can sit in that shared space, without rushing to label it, she relaxes, and that's what allows things to move forward. 17th, she stops managing the interaction and lets you lead. You'll feel the shift. She stops steering the conversation, stops filling gaps, stops adjusting. She becomes receptive. From a woman's perspective, this is trust. She's no longer controlling the pace because she's ready to follow your lead, if it feels grounded. Most men misread this as disinterest and pull back. It's the opposite. This is your moment to guide gently. Suggest the next step. Change locations. Move closer. Lead with calm certainty, and she feels held, not pushed. 18th, she signals, now, without ever saying it. There's a look, sustained, unbroken. Her body is still, but her attention is fully on you. The world fades. You feel it in your chest before your mind can name it. This is timing. Desire isn't just about who, it's about when. From her side, this moment is readiness. She's present, open, here. Most men either hesitate too long or jump too fast. The balance is awareness and action. Move slowly. Stay connected. You're not guessing anymore, you're responding. 19th, she watches what you do with the opening she gave you. She's already opened the door. Now she's observing, not judging, but feeling. Are you present, respectful, confident without force? This is where she decides if desire feels safe enough to continue. Most men overthink or perform. Neither is necessary. Do less. Be more. Let your actions be clean and deliberate. If you stay attuned instead of rushed, the connection deepens. And finally, 20th, she lets the outcome depend on your response. At the end of it all, she gives you something rare, choice. She doesn't force the ending. She lets your response determine what happens next. This isn't a test, it's an invitation. If you respond with presence, clarity, and calm desire, the moment completes itself. If you respond with fear or avoidance, it fades quietly. Once you start seeing this pattern, you stop guessing. You stop missing it. You start responding. And once you begin to notice when sexual interest is present, something else becomes impossible to ignore. These moments almost never appear randomly. They usually come after she's already made a quiet assessment about you, long before anything physical is even on the table. That's why so many men feel caught off guard by desire, but confused about where it came from. The next piece breaks down the subtle signs women show when they've already decided you're attractive, and why most of those signs don't look like attraction at all.